Good morning, good morning. I call to order the last meeting of the House Committee on Privileges and Elections. If the clerk will please open the roll, and members register your attendance. Okay, we do have a quorum. And so we are going to start by going to our subcommittee report on the Subcommittee on Elections Administration. Delegate Glass.
Gratitude, Madam Chair. The Subcommittee on Elections Administration had one bill before it. It's Senate Bill 428, patroned by Senator Van Valkenburg. This just adds standards, procedures to the current already in place local option ranked choice voting structure, ranked choice voting option. It comes from a state report. The subcommittee recommended reporting with the substitute on a vote of 6-2. The substitute removes the provisions that the bill expanded ranked choice voting to local and constitutional offices, and I so move.
Second.
And so that was a motion on the substitute, correct?
Move the substitute.
It's been moved and properly seconded for us to adopt the substitute. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So that substitute is now before us. And then there was a motion.
I move to report.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded to report with substitute. Are there any questions or comments from the committee? So just in case I heard that question, the substitute does not expand what is currently done as was described. Thank you, Madam Chair. This sets standards and structure for what localities can already choose to do. Any further unofficial questions? All right, if the clerk will please open the room. I mean, if you want it. That's not what I said. All right, and so that bill is reported with substitute on a vote of 13-6. Thank you, Delegate Glass. And so now we have a few bills that are before the full committee, and I see Senator Eben. Last week we started with Senate Bill 364.
Yes, this is the bill on protecting elections officials. I understand there's a substitute for one of the members of the committee.
Yes, can I get a motion on the substitute?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded for us to adopt the substitute. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? And so, Senator, that substitute is now before us. So we've talked a little bit about what the bill would do. Can you tell us what the substitute does?
I don't have the substitute before me, but my understanding is that it also includes members of the staff and the Commissioner of Elections.
Yep, so just to round it out, we'll go on to Madam Attorney, if there's anything you'd like to add.
Yes, Madam Chair. We did the substitute after Delegate Bloxham raised a really good point that it wasn't clear who we meant by employees of election officials for purposes of being protected or being able to be on this protected voters list and having the civil cause of action. So we've added language to specify that employee of an election official includes persons employed by the Department of Elections or in the office of a general registrar.
With that, are there any further questions or comments from the committee? And I'm not sure, Senator Eben, do you remember, did we get to public testimony on that?
You did take some testimony.
Okay, thank you for your honesty on that. All right, so we have a motion. It's been moved and properly seconded to report Senate Bill 364 with substitute. And Madam Clerk, if you will please open the rolls. And that substitute reports on a vote of 14-6. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
And Senator DeStaff, you have Senate Bill 301.
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair. We have a substitute as well that I worked with Delegate Sickles on. Really appreciated his time working with us on this.
Can I get a motion on the substitute? It's been moved and properly seconded for us to adopt the substitute. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Okay, so that substitute is now properly before us. If you want to tell us how that's different from what we heard before.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So what the bill does is it provides a appeal process to the civil penalties that are applied on filing issues if you're hit with a civil penalty. Prior to this, there was no appeal process, and working with Delegate Sickles and staff, we put an appeal process in place and ran it around to everybody, and everybody was in agreement that it was what would work, and we're pretty happy with the appeals process.
Delegate Sickles.
Madam Chair, speaking to the bill, I do believe there needs to be an appeals process for like anything we do in government, and the original bill did not really provide for that. So we've had people work on this, but there is a reenactment clause in the substitute because there could be calendar issues. This area, our code is not super clear, probably needs to be rewritten, all the way through to take out anomalies and things that you have to cross-reference, things like that. So we need this, but we also need to look at it closely over the year and make sure we have all the timelines right for this bill. So that's in the substitute, just to be clear to everybody. And I hope my colleagues down the other end of the aisle will respect the need to get the technical aspects of this bill correct.
Thank you, Delegate Sickles. And as a great man with moderate, reasonable character said, we pass bills, not ideas. And so, okay, Senator DeSteph, did we get a chance, excuse me, to have public testimony?
Yes, I believe we did, Madam Chair, and
I appreciate that.
I don't believe there was any opposition to this.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments from the committee?
Move to report substitute.
It's been moved and properly seconded for us to report with substitute Senate Bill 301.
Speaking to the motion, Madam Chair,
Yep, Delegate Sickles.
I just want to thank everybody who's weighed on this for the last week. So it's been a little work, but here we are. Thank you. I hope you'll support the bill.
And Madam Clerk, if you will, please open the rolls.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you. And that reports on a vote of no, 18-3. Thank you, Senator. The committee will be at ease.
How are you? Good morning.
Senator,
Good morning, Madam
how
Chair.
you feeling from last night, Senator?
That's what we're going to do today?
Yes, that's what we're starting off with.
That's what we're doing today? Well,
Welcome to the House. Whose house? Our house. Senator
Madam
Rouse,
Chair,
I believe we're going to start with Senate Bill 188.
thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, can we start SB 300? My other binder is not here.
Sure. Senate Bill 300.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. And I believe we wrote to, and the one I believe was SB 194.
So if I could get a motion to conform Senate Bill 300 to House Bill 904. It's been moved and properly seconded for Senate Bill 300 to be conformed to House Bill 904. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? And so that now is conformed. There are some changes, Senator, that have happened in our conversations since this committee last heard 904. Do you mind if I turn to our wonderful attorney to kind of outline some of those?
Please do, Madam Chair, and thank you.
Madam Chair, Senator Rouse, the primary changes that will be different from what we heard as it left the House versus what we have today would be a change to the confidence score criteria. Rather than the Social Security number being worth 40 points, it's now going to be worth 50 points. And then the driver's license number will, instead of being 50 points, will be 40 points. And then we made changes to the language about when a match has to go to the registrar. So now if it has a confidence score of at least 80, then it will go to the registrar without any other requirements on that.
And so if you liked 904, you'll like this even better. And Senator, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
Madam Chair, I just will add, this just addressing the error to make sure that we protect our voting rolls and no one is purged from the voting rolls either in error or by mistake. And so that's all I would add.
Awesome. Are there any questions? Delegate Bloxham.
Just one question, Madam Chair. I'm assuming the Board of Elect worked with you all to make that change?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And there was a delayed enactment clause for any of the parts to line up with the new system, but for the part four that we had discussed before for the notice, that would move forward. Any other questions?
Move to report and substitute.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded to report Senate Bill 300 with substitute. Any questions, comments on the motion? If the clerk will please open the rolls and members cast your votes. And that reports on a vote of 13-8. Senate Joint Resolution 82 or Senate Bill 188?
We can do Senate Bill 188, Madam Chair.
Senator, you have the floor.
Senate Bill 188, I believe there was a House cognate, HB 409. They're identical. The city of Virginia Beach asked us to bring this forward. And it essentially states any permits any locality who is under a court order for violation of the Federal Voting Act or the Virginia Voting Rights Act to adopt an ordinance converting one or more at-large members of a public body to a single district to comply with such an order. If a locality chooses to adopt such an order, it would be required to allow any member whose seat is converted to complete their term. This legislation will allow locality to make this change even if the court order is later vacated, giving a locality the ability to avoid litigation.
Senator, I'm so sorry. I just realized we did hear House Bill 1302? No.
409.
409, I'm sorry, 409. And so there was maybe just one word difference from seats and members. Okay, and yes. So if members want to look up their vote on 409, I could definitely entertain a motion. House Bill 409? House Bill 409? It's been moved and properly seconded to report Senate Bill 188. Any questions? If the clerk will please open the rolls. And members cast your votes. And that reports on a vote of 11-9.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I believe the last Senate joint resolution was gubernatorial appointments. Yes.
Yep. And so Madam Attorney, have we gotten all the paperwork that we need for Senate Joint Resolution 82?
Madam Chair, yes, we did receive all that paperwork.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Can I entertain a motion on Senate Joint Resolution 82 for the governor's appointments? It's been moved and properly seconded. I'm guessing to report. Senate Joint Resolution 82. Any questions, comments, concerns? Madam Clerk, please open the rolls. And that does pass on a vote of 19-0. Thank you so much, Senator.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to remind the committee, I do sit on rules.
And we'll see you at 9. And we still won. So this as our last meeting of the committee, I would like to take a moment to thank all of the members and your hard, oh my goodness. Thank you. And see the great work of staff. Let's get into that. So if you all will actually call attention to Senate Bill 131, that is a bill for which we heard it is identical to House Bill 55. We have voted on it, and it reported out from committee, but there were some questions as to whether or not it was improper form for a bill with the patron being a member that is no longer here in the Senate to be properly before the body. We did receive the answer, and the answer is yes, it is properly before the body. And so if there are any motions that I would entertain on Senate Bill 131 that has the name of Senator Ruff, but Senator Mulchy was working on that. And it is, again, identical to House Bill 55, which the House has passed to the Senate. It's been moved and properly seconded to report Senate Bill 131. Any questions? If the clerk will please open the rolls. And that does pass on a vote of 19-0. So now I will say, thank you so much for your hard work. Thank you to those that have offered public comment and help in any way on the legislation that we've passed. I think we've done some work that we can be proud of. I would love to thank our wonderful clerk, Karen Gilmore, our room clerk, and our Paige was here. But I am gonna take just one moment to really shout out our attorney, our dedicated counsel who knows more about elections law than I think many others, who works diligently on a regular basis and who is also moving up in the ranks. And so we are not quite sure if she will occupy this seat for next year, but she will still be in the building, but she's moving on up. And so we just want to say thank you to Meg Lamb for all of your hard work. And so, yes, with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Second. Oh, and the gentleman with reasonable character, but no, thank you to everyone. Did I hear a motion? It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? We are now adjourned. Thank you.